Hi again, everyone. Welcome to the Black Book today. Sam McKee and Bob Hollywood Hayden with you as usual. And Holly, it seems like here in Harrisburg and really throughout harness racing, variety has kind of become the spice of life.
That's for sure. I agree. There's been 5 different Triple Crown winners this year. The last time we had 6 in the same year was 2002. 11 different Breeders' Crown stallions won a race. Only Bettor's Delight repeated. And when Sandpail is named Horse of the Year, Sam, that's going to make it 19 straight years. A different sire has been named Horse of the Year. Cane, Pace, Jug, Cup, and Adios. 5 huge pacing events, all won by different horses. It only figures that the biggest sale at the biggest venue would also offer its own variety pack.
Well, we've got the latest news, we've got the latest views, and the latest observations from industry leaders coming your way on the Black Book today. We found out earlier that a big-name pacing stallion from the Empire State is actually heading north of the border and returning to his roots at the same time. There is some breaking news that we have to talk to you about again. Mike, Bettor's Delight, one of the top pacing stallions in the sport, you reportedly have decided to move him from your New York farm to Ontario.
Well, it's kind of a homecoming. He's a Maryland, Jersey boy that's done well in New York and done well in New Zealand, and not so long ago did pretty well in Canada. He's in the Hall of Fame in Canada, won the Breeders' Crown in Canada as a 2-year-old, won the North America Cup there as a 3-year-old. We purchased him from a great competitor in John Grant from Canada, and we really feel that he would do a great job in competing in that program, and for the people that own part of the horse and participate in breeding to the horse, we'll do very well when we bring those foals from him back to sales like Harrisburg and Kentucky, and we'll get paid even more. There's a lot of competition for the horse in New York, and we like to kind of reach out and try to take a big piece of a different pie. It'll help the ones that stay home, and we're hoping it helps the one that's going to hit the road a little bit too.
You've done a lot of business with Winback Farm of Ontario. Is that where Bettor's Delight will stand, and what will his fee be?
We're working on the details. I don't really see the fee changing, and at this time that looks to be the direction and where we're going. We're nailing down the final details and all that now. We weren't really prepared to make a formal announcement coming down here. We were checking with our shareholders, and I certainly have to apologize to anybody we haven't got a hold of yet, but the majority opinion was so overwhelming that as the news started slipping out, as we were talking to people, we already have people sending in booking applications to the horse to be bred in Canada. We don't have a Canadian booking application on the horse, so we got people sending stuff on the computer and crossing things out and just eager to participate.
Well, he has been a fantastic sire, one of the top pacing stallions in the sport, let alone New York. I'm sure he'll be very successful in Ontario as well. Mike, thanks for a few minutes of your time.
Thank you.
Mike Kimmelman on the move of Bettor's Delight to Ontario.
For 4 decades, Jackie Ingrassia has not just been a trailblazer for women, but a role model for all of us. Jackie, what is your impression of the first couple days of the sale here at Harrisburg?
I think it's terrific. Even with the 2 high-priced ones taken out, I think you'll find the averages are pretty well up.
Is there kind of a little something for everybody here?
Oh, absolutely. If you can't find something here, you're not going to find anything.
And what are you looking for?
We're looking for primarily fillies, trotting fillies, and hopefully either Jersey or Pennsylvania bred.
So you're looking to do the Aaron Artist, the sequel, is what you're saying?
Well, we'd like to.
That was nice.
That was kind of nice.
Winning the Goldsmith Maid and doing it against Solveig, won her division. And you are the only female driver to win a Triple Crown race. Take us back to that moment in the 2000 Yonkers Trot. What was that like?
Like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. It was a thrill of a lifetime, and I certainly hope I can repeat before I expire.
You'll be around a while. I just took you out of the video section over here. Were you looking at any of the videos? Or?
Yes. We're always looking. We're looking for that nugget, so to speak. We have to turn over a lot of rocks to get to the nugget.
So there's nothing that you're crossing off your list as saying, in other words, you're open to anything?
Absolutely. Well, in the trotting line. We haven't had a pacer in about 15 years, but yes, in the trotting line, we're open to anything.
And you do the driving, Frank, training, and how does that work out there?
Well, 40 years we've been at it, so it's been working out pretty good.
All right, well, continued success, and hopefully we can find that nugget right here at Harrisburg.
Thanks a lot.
The Bow River 14-karat gold fine jewelry collection has some of the most unique custom equine jewelry designs. With the master craftsmanship of our designers, we provide a piece of jewelry you'll treasure for years to come. We use state-of-the-art equipment, hand finishing, and quality stones to give you the craftsmanship in a piece of jewelry that you will enjoy. Our designs seek to capture the world of horses and the relationship they have with their owners. Wearing one of these unique designs will reflect this.
Hi, I'm Art from Bow River. Come back and look at our new collection we have for this season. We're located in the Maclay Street lobby. When you come back to look at our jewelry, make sure you sign up for a $500 gift certificate, which we'll be giving away on Saturday.
For trainer Bruce Saunders, the memories of a champion have gotten even clearer 1 year later. Last year, you couldn't go anywhere without the paparazzi following you around, especially at a harness racing function, because of possibly the greatest pacer ever, rock and roll heaven. What's it been like adjusting this year with him not in your barn?
It has been a huge change. I haven't missed him. I've missed the excitement and the joy and the pleasure of racing him and just being around him as an individual. He had a great personality and loved his work and always brought his A game. And I'll never experience anything like that again, campaigning and racing a horse of that caliber. But I miss his personality, and it was always great to go in and spend some time with him on the racetrack around the barn because he did have a great personality. You know, as far as the attention, well, it was always about the horse, and we try to stay focused on the horse. But for me, it was fun. I enjoyed doing it. You know, you people respected the animal and always gave me a lot of consideration and let me express myself, and it was a lot of fun. It was a great ride.
What was his best attribute in hindsight?
You know, I reflect because I watched this group of 3-year-olds race, and they're a terrific group of horses, and each week it's a different horse, depending upon the racetrack and the trip. With him, it didn't matter where we were, what size racetrack. He had that type of sheer talent and flexibility to do anything that you asked him to do, any way that you asked him to do it. But the one quality that he had that separated him from almost any horse that I saw race, he had such high speed that any time at the beginning, the middle, or the end of the mile, he could sprint away from his competition, and a lot of them paced right off their feet trying to keep up with him. You know, in the Breeders' Crown, at Pocono, one more lap, and we sprinted around him, went off his feet. In the jug, when we hooked Kyle Major going to the half, they were going so fast when Mark McDonald asked him to pace up, he paced off his feet. One other time late in his 2-year-old year, Ideal Matters, that everybody was crazy about, was following him. When Danny put the pedal to the metal, you know, he paced right off his feet. And I said to Plone, I thought you were in a good spot. He said, Bruce, he said, nobody can pace with your horse when he explodes like that. I think that's what he had. He had explosive speed that he could use any time during the mile and carry it all the way home, and not a lot of horses can do that.
A great ride. Is there one particular race that stands out in your mind as your favorite?
Well, the Jug was the greatest, most exciting experience you could ever have, and for me, who never was a big enthusiast of that game because I'm from the East Coast, and with the bright lights and the money of the Meadowlands and Mohawk and things like that, but having had the Kool-Aid of the Jug, it's a special experience. You know, there's been 63 winners. I know how the other 62 fellas felt, and for me to get it at this time in my career, when I can appreciate it all that much more, it was sensational. But you know, when I think about the things that he did, the Jug races and the world records and the heat, and how much energy he seemed to have left at the end of the mile, and then the Breeders' Crown race. But the one race that people don't focus on much was the Battle of the Brandywine at Chester, when he went in 58-4 on a racetrack that was dreadful, at least a second or two off. It was probably the only time during his 3-year-old career that he got a trip. He sat second or third over, then eventually second over behind one more laugh, who took him into the stretch, and when Danny pulled the right line, he motored and just went easy. And I was always hopeful that he'd get that kind of trip in a big race, on a big track where they get down to half and 53 in a piece, somebody take them 3/4 and 120, 119 in a piece. You know, he went in 47-3 for John in the elimination of the Meadowlands pace, but I know he could go faster than that under the right set of circumstances. But those were the 3 races that stick out in my mind.
We needed for someone to give us an update on what's going on in the Midwest. John Butenschoen stopped by, gave us that and much, much more. It was a lot easier for the drivers to pick up and relocate from the Midwest and come here, Tim Tetrick, Andy Miller, and several others, than it was for the trainers to pick up, because it's much more of an operation to relocate there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a difficult decision for us. I mean, I still have an 80-acre training center at home. I've got 70-stall barn, enclosed exerciser, to physically leave all of that behind. And our son was still in high school. And I know a lot of people, you know, ask other trainers out there why they haven't left or why they haven't done anything. It comes down to family. And, you know, if you got children in school to pick up and relocate, and say if we were to have moved out here 3 years ago and bought a house in New Jersey, you know, I think I might be pooping my pants again, you know, wondering what's going on there. You know, it's a breath of fresh air that Jeff Gorell has stepped up to the plate, you know, and it looks positive for that. But you don't know what jurisdiction's going to do or be around for a while. And it's tough. It's very tough.
And I think back to Big Tom and Mini Me and Loyal Opposition. So many top horses have
What
come
about
that area.
Plesac? You forget? There was a horse once.
Plesac. I thought you meant my friend Dan Plesac. The horse
Did he
made
even move out?
$2.5 million earner. That's one of the richest horses of all time that nobody really talks
knows.
about.
Nobody
Plesac.
knows the horse.
You're right. Unbelievable. He was right there with Moneymaker and Magician, those kind of horses. Kind of got lost in that third and fourth shuffle there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a great horse. I mean, he showed up every week. He would win his 1 or 2 races a year, it seemed like, but he was second and third in the Breeders' Crown, going for $1 million each year. They went for that, and he showed up to race. He was a good blue-collar horse.
What kind of horse are you looking for here at Harrisburg?
Purchased one. We bought a credit winner colt, paid in the 6 figures for him. My owner stepped up. They had a good year. New York Sire Stakes program was very positive, so, you know, we kind of went that route. Looking to maybe find 1 or 2 more trotters. We ended up with 11 out of Lexington, so got carried away there.
Tron Schmerzhammer, can it really be 2 decades that he's been here? He's already won driving and training in the Hambletonian. No one has won more Breeders' Crowns in the last decade than Tron. Do you notice a presence here at the sale of overseas buyers and some overseas interest?
Oh yeah, there's quite a few Europeans there, for sure. Every year, I think they come to Harrisburg.
And the live streaming on the video actually helps. Obviously, if you can't make it from overseas, they can actually watch the sale live.
Yeah, oh yeah. This is, you know, it's come a long way and makes it interesting. You know, it's even if they don't bid, you know, they can have somebody here bid and they can keep an eye on it online. And you know, it's exciting for them.
Now, you don't race a lot of 2-year-olds. A lot of your 2-year-olds only race a few starts. What's your theory on that? 2-year-olds not being able to come back at 3, how does that work?
Well, I always was a bigger fan of you know, racing 3-year-olds and making that their number 1 season. You know, a lot of you know, trainers and owners, they you know, the way it's become here is the 2-year-old is the number 1 season, and you know, I don't think that's necessarily the right thing to do, and especially now with Jeff Gorell trying to change the business a little bit, keeping the horses on the track. You know, I think you know, something has to be done there with all this 2-year-old racing, because you know, if they're gonna race like we are still in the future at 2, there's no way they're gonna be you know, around at 4.
Yeah, and you with Winsong's Legacy, you barely raced him at all as a 2-year-old, right?
Yeah, he wasn't. He wasn't a top contender, you know. And a lot of my top 3-year-olds has been that way, you know. Like they not great horses at 2, or not top level at 2, and you know, you raise them carefully and just give them a little education, and you know, you bring them back at 3. They, you know, they catch up with the other ones, you know, that were better at 2 and did a lot, you know, did maybe too much. So for me, it's better to kind of protect the 2-year-olds a little bit and let them give them a chance to develop.
The debate over expanded gambling in the Garden State has certainly been a thorny issue, but a bold move by an industry leader may well serve to tip the scales.
The state of New Jersey We know we'll be good down the road. We know there probably will be slots in a distant or non-distant future. And now that we got the sports betting passed from the public in a public referendum, we understand that we have support in the state of New Jersey for gambling to spread to other venues, including the Meadowlands. And I think by that vote, the state legislature sees that we have support for that, and the governor has obviously supported that vote, and I think it's going to be a positive in the future.
So you think the closing of the farm may have actually shocked some of the legislators?
I
got
know
their
that the
attention?
closing of the farm, and we were not on that sports betting bill, when Senator Lesniak saw the closing of the farm, he put us on the sports betting bill, and Atlantic City legislators put us on the sports betting bill, and we went to the Senate committee to testify, and we said we got to have racing on that bill. That's 100% turnaround from Hamiltonian week when we spoke to Senator Lesniak till a month ago. That's exactly correct.
Do you feel that Governor Christie has somewhat turned his back on the racing industry when we supported him in his election campaign?
We supported him in his election campaign. I don't think the governor's people, who we work very closely with, by the way, in a very good working relationship with the governor's people directly, didn't get their arms around it till late, understand the connection between horse racing at the Meadowlands and the breeding industry in open space. They got that connection with the negotiation with Jeff Corral, maybe a little too late, but we're getting there. They have full confidence in a great working relationship with Jeff and the SBOA and Tommy and Lucento and the group. They like us very much in the way we were conducting ourselves and dealing with the situation, and has been a really goodwill. I can guarantee you with the governor's office on that.
And you have been personally involved in so much behind the scenes with the lobbying efforts and everything else. Anthony, you mentioned slots. In your opinion, do you think we legitimately have a shot at slots at the Meadowlands and that harness racing could be involved in the near future?
I am 90-something% sure.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty high percentage. So if these slots come, would you guys change your mind?
We would have to get back into business in a big way.
Super.
But as of today, my dad being 85 and being where he's at in this position, we feel that this very moment, as a business decision, he needs to disperse. And if slots did come into the state of New Jersey, we could obviously rebuild to that point and get involved.
Enthusiasm has never been an issue for Joe Descala Jr. He's right here at Harrisburg right now looking to stock up to get back to the coveted winner's circle. Now, me and you are too old to be in school, but that doesn't mean homework isn't on the board for sure. How much time do you spend in that catalog before you even get here?
A lot of homework, a lot of research, looking at the pedigrees and, you know, further down the line pedigrees as well as video confirmation. It's a combination. It's not just one thing you can zero in on.
Now, are you in with partnerships? Are you in solo? How does that work with the ownership?
I have partnerships. I have partnerships here in New York. My partner, Peter Massari, I have partnerships in Pennsylvania with the Burke family, as well as in Ohio with my other partner, Bob Wayner. So we have multiple partnerships.
And, I mean, I know Ron Burke's got a lot to do to keep track of all the horses, but you can keep really busy yourself doing that.
Yeah, it's we keep in contact a couple times a week and go back and forth as to who we like, dislike, and you got to keep open communication, otherwise it's very hard to keep on top of everything.
And even at a place like Harrisburg with so many horses, do you get a chance to see everything you really want to see?
No, as organized as you try to be, it's still hard getting around. You know, it's pretty well spread out, so it's not easy to get up to every single one you want to.
And how has 2011 been for you as a racehorse owner?
As a racehorse owner, it's been okay overall. Expect a little bit more out of On the Glass earlier in the season, didn't work out, so you know we went on from there. But hopefully we'll get a couple more babies this year.
I don't want to jinx you, but I think you're due. I think you're due for that stakes performer. That, you know, we're talking finalist in the Meadowlands Pace North America Cup. How about that?
I think I could take that pressure.
You can handle it?
I can handle it.
Joe Descala Jr., I told you. Good luck here at the sale, and get right back in there and find one.
Thank you very much.
Take care, Joe.
The Bow River 14-karat gold fine jewelry collection has some of the most unique custom equine jewelry designs. With the master craftsmanship of our designers, we provide a piece of jewelry you'll treasure for years to come. We use state-of-the-art equipment, hand finishing, and quality stones to give you the craftsmanship in a piece of jewelry that you will enjoy. Our designs seek to capture the world of horses and the relationship they have with their owners. Wearing one of these unique designs will reflect this.
Hi, I'm Art from Bow River. Come back and look at our new collection we have for this season. We're located in the Maclay Street lobby. When you come back to look at our jewelry, make sure you sign up for a $500 gift certificate, which we'll be giving away on Saturday.
Strong tradition and a powerful family. I'd say Frank Antonacci has done a great job of carrying on that family name. Frank, what about Craze? What kind of horse was he? What kind of sire is he going to be, you think?
You know, he was a great racehorse. I mean, he was everything you want in a top trotter. I mean, he was great gaited, always stayed at it, quick as a cat. I mean, I think that was his greatest attribute was his athleticism and his quickness. And, you know, as a stallion, what I've seen, I've obviously looked at most of them. And what I've noticed is that he's passed along his athleticism more than anything. I think that he, even with some of his horses I've seen here with flaws, which most will have, they seem like they overcome it in the field, and they're athletic despite anything that they might have for issues. There's a lot of tremendous individuals that were selling here, and they sold well. You know, Hanover sold a colt yesterday for I think $120,000. That was tremendous individual, and I think he's got every shot to be a good stallion. He's a great spot at Blue Chip in New York. I think they'll get around the half-mile tracks well. I think he's in a good spot.
You know, they always talk about whether or not a sire stamps his yearlings. Is that the case here?
Yeah, I think he did. I think he, you know, he's a very correct, flashy horse, and I think he's cleaned up a lot of the mares that were bred to him, which is good for breeders. And you could see a little bit of him in every one of them.
How does yourself, your family, your connections, how do you resist the temptation to kind of go a little overboard on the crazed yearlings yourself?
Well, you know, I have 5 crazed trotting colts. You know, that's kind of where I wanted to be. You know, you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket, so to speak, but I think I have a nice amount of them. I want to support the stallion, obviously. I think he's got a tremendous shot, and I think he has a shot to dominate in New York. So I wanted to be involved, but I also want, you know, for the horse and his future, I wanted other top trainers to have some also. And you know, I think Jimmy Takter has some that he likes. Smeds Hammer does. I know he likes his. I talked to Homer Hochstetler. He's got one that he really likes. So it's really important that everybody gets a couple of them and see how they pan out for them also.
Encore is the word for Ali Back. That's what he's hoping for. After all, it was 2 years ago at this exact venue when Ali Back was the last to raise his hand on Broadbond for $20,000 acting as agent. That's this year's Hambletonian winner. An awful lot of people right around me here looking for the next Hambletonian winner. So what I do, I plucked out the guy who got this year's Hambletonian winner right out of the crowd, Ali Back. Ali, 2 years ago, Broadbond, $20,000? Was that the purchase?
$20,000 was the price.
$20,000 for Broadbond.
Yeah.
What did you see in him that you liked, and what were you thinking at the time?
I couldn't fault him in any of his conformation. I tend to like a bigger horse, where I think that a lot of people were maybe a little bit afraid of buying him as big as he was. But in his conformation, his video, I couldn't fault him. The only thing I was worried about was that my owner only gave me 20, and with the pedigree actually being only shown the 3rd dam in my book, I was worried that I wasn't going to get him for 20.
Okay, so was that the last bid?
That was
going to be it.
That was my limit.
And then Broadbond went on to win this year's Hambletonian by open lengths. That experience is what everybody's kind of shooting for. What was that like for you and the connections of Broadbond?
Absolutely awesome. I've been there a couple of times, and that's everybody's dream to be. I've been in the Hambletonian as a supportive groom of Practice in 1985. I moved on to Henriksen as a second trainer the year after, and that year we won with the Nuclear Cosmos. But to pick out a horse for an owner that sits home in Denmark and be the decisive person in, does he buy this horse or doesn't he, that takes it to a higher level.
And nowadays you can be in Denmark and watch the video live streaming too, right?
Yeah.
That's good. Now, what about you have overseas clients? How does that help them? This is relatively new.
Everybody is excited about the technology in the world has given people the opportunity. They can sit home and watch their horses race. They can keep up on the sales, everything. There's a lot of things happening in Europe right now, and we have big groups coming in the next few days to buy broodmares.
As the yearling portion of our 2011 Harrisburg sale comes to an end, Holly, I think it's safe to say there is a common theme, and that would be Oh Brother.
Oh Brother, but in a very good way. 3 full brothers dominated the sale here. And the first couple days, it was Some Beach Somewhere's brother at 120, going for 430,000. Fast forward to 203 for Donato Hanover's brother for a record 825,000. And the full brothers, Tom and John Cancelleri, bought them both. That's right. Priceless. Their enthusiasm kind of breathed new life into the room.
Record prices, high drama, plenty of excitement. That about sums up the 2011 Harrisburg sale. Thanks for being with us on the Black Book today. We'll see you again next year.